Standing there, our alma mater, treasured blue and white. Love of learning guides our passions, knowledge leads our way. Helping hands and minds of wonder, guiding those who stray. Looking after those she's guided, noble, wise, and true. Hail to thee, our alma mater. Hail to thee, new school. Reminiscing memories cherished, friends intimately gained. Honored we who've walked her hallways, proudly sing her name. Looking after those she's guided, noble, wise, and true. Hail to thee, our alma mater. Hail to thee, new school.
Good evening. My name is John Wright. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, welcome to the new school class of 2022 commencement. During this school year, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the new school. Tonight, we celebrate the new school's third graduating class. We are so proud of this group of seniors and how well they've navigated the difficulty of the last 2 school years. Even greater, though, they've been pioneers in the building of the new school's upper school. As only the third graduating class, they've helped lay a foundation for the future that will benefit so many students for years to come. Seniors, we couldn't be more grateful for each of you and the lasting impact you've made on the new school community. We're proud of you all and can't wait to see what great things the future holds for each of you. We'd also like to acknowledge the parents, relatives, and friends of this graduating class. We know that without each of you, this day wouldn't be possible. Lastly, we'd like to thank Nancy, her administrative team, faculty, and staff. Their tireless effort to make this year as normal as possible has been nothing short of phenomenal. Their commitment to the new school students and community is second to none. Seniors, congratulations.
Thank you, John. Thank you and welcome to our Board of Trustees, our faculty and staff, and students and community members gathered tonight. I want to thank Mr. Bill Mandrell, our founding head. I want to thank Ensemble 3 and Mr. Austin for what I'd call really good succession planning. The new school is pretty darn good at events like these, and it takes so much behind-the-scenes work. I'm telling you, the behind-the-scenes work today was pretty remarkable, actually. I'd like us all to take a moment to genuinely thank all those who've done the heavy lifting to make this night possible, and if you could hold your applause until I list them all, that would be wonderful. So a huge thanks to the advancement team, Jack Sweeney, Chelsea Harold, Channing Baldwin. The facilities team, led by Cody Apperson and Michelle Aguilar. The SAGE team, led by Chef John Schulke, and the Forge team, led by Adam Putnam. Thank you. Finally, welcome and thank you to the families of our graduates, parents, grandparents, siblings, and all those we call family. This night is also a celebration of you and your role in raising these young adults. The collective tenure of the 9 members of this class at TNS is 75 years. Well, it's actually 74.5, but I'm a math teacher and I feel really good about rounding up. This is pretty remarkable, given that 2 of them have only been here for 1 year. Three of them wear the lifetime at TNS cord, signifying at least 13 consecutive years at the new school. Lisette with 16, David with 16, and Lexi with 14. I also want to give a special shout out to Ella for 12 consecutive years at TNS. If you're following the math, as I'm sure you're all doing in your heads, these 4 graduates account for 58 of the 75 years. So a friend of mine shared with me part of a commencement address that she heard recently, and it started with the fact that goldfish grow to match the size of their environment. So goldfish in a small fish bowl would stay small. Those in a tank maybe grow a little larger. Those in a pond might become giant. The message was to encourage graduates from a small fish bowl to be leaping goldfish and leap to bigger fish tanks or ponds so that they could grow. At first, this message sort of resonated with me because the whole goldfish thing sounded familiar. But then I started to question things. Is this really even true about goldfish? So I started the inevitable Google search. I went further down that rabbit hole than I should have. It turns out, as many of you may know, it's partially true. Goldfish and many other fish actually do grow to fit the size of their environment. And there are many other factors that influence the growth of the goldfish. These other factors are what made this analogy more appealing to me. So I'll fight the urge to dive deeply, but suffice it to say that some of the limiting factors on the growth of these goldfish are their hormones, pheromones, genetics, and the health of the environment that they're in. The bottom line is that goldfish influence their environment and respond to that same environment. Now, I know I'm oversimplifying, so if there are any fish biologists out there, please give me some little bit of leeway. But there are external factors that influence the environment, for instance, changing the water, filtering the water. The goldfish influence the environment with the hormones and pheromones. They also respond to the health of the environment. So it's the combination of their influence and their response that determine the size of their growth. So if you take that all the way to the end of the analogy, what I would say is goldfish who are very healthy, live in a healthy environment, move to another, larger, also healthy environment, will grow to fit their environment. So class of 22, you've been swimming in a relatively small environment. The health of that environment has been dynamic. It's depended on the leadership of the school, your teachers, your classmates, and other students, and you. Some of this you have influenced, and some has been out of your control. But I would claim that you, this class, has been instrumental in defining and nurturing this environment. Through all of the changes, and there have been many, you have been the constant, including those who've left and returned, Oakley and Alina, and those who have only been here for a year, Jack and Duncan, and those with longer tenure in this environment, Mackenzie, Ella, Lexi, David, and Lisette. You have proven over time how important student voice is in defining our school. And as we heard from your teachers last night, you have been role models for all of us in how to be a high-functioning, inclusive team of diverse individuals. Let me say that again. You are a high-functioning, inclusive team of diverse individuals. That is not a common thing. People work hard to get that, and you have all developed that. I would claim that all in all, you've grown to meet the limits of your environment, and that the new school environment has encouraged and enhanced, not limited, your growth. So, class of 22, Lisette, Mackenzie, Oakley, Alina, Ella, Lexi, Duncan, Jack, and David, we are proud of you. We congratulate and celebrate you. This commencement, it's an important milestone, but remember that commencement means beginning. Your journey is in so many ways just beginning. So grow. Choose healthy environments. and then contribute to the health of your environments. And when you're ready for growth, more growth, change your environment. Be the leaping goldfish. Later in the program, you will all have the opportunity to hear the unique voices of each of our graduates. Current students and families, watch and listen, because you will actually see what a TNS graduate looks like. So next, I will introduce our speaker, and after that, we will proceed as outlined in your program. I'll return as we prepare for the presentation of diplomas. Enjoy the many voices that you will hear tonight. We have been so pleased to welcome Kyle Murray to our faculty this year. Kyle teaches math through the lens of STEAM integration and practical application. Kyle has his Bachelor of Arts from the U of A in International Relations. He has his Bachelor of Science from the U of A in Physics, and he's pursuing his PhD at the U of A in Physics. Not only does Kyle have command of multiple programming languages, high-level research methods and statistical analysis, and all things physics, which I will not attempt to list here, his passion is education. You might say, inspiring young learners to convert their potential energy to kinetic energy. Had to. Since Kyle arrived at the new school, he has volunteered for pretty much anything, from coaching math counts to chaperoning a 7th and 8th grade lock-in. He's collaborated with Miss Jennifer to redesign our pre-algebra courses for the coming school year and has developed our statistics and AP statistics course offerings. You'll hear from Kyle about his educational journey and some of his hobbies and interests. I just want to close by acknowledging that we have a first-year teacher at the new school delivering a commencement address to a group who's been here for up to 16 years. There's an irony in that, but it's also pretty simple. A teacher can have tremendous impact on multiple students and their journeys in just a short amount of time. Please help me welcome Kyle Murray.
That's a hard one to follow up. So, as Miss Nancy introduced me, I'll do so again. Hello, my name is Kyle Murray, or as many of you know me, Mr. Kyle, and many of you in the audience as well. It has been an incredible honor to be asked to speak today, and I hope to do everyone who asked me to a justice it deserves. For those of whom I've not yet gotten to know, I'll also introduce myself in brief from my experiences in life as to not take away from the graduate's experience today. You're adults now, plain and simple. It may not feel like it, and I'm sure most of us adults don't feel like it most days. My message is to relay some words of wisdom I've received in my life around your age and older. I attended high school at Catholic High School for Boys in Little Rock and was part of the Marine Corps JORTC, where I achieved the rank of sergeant and had a squad of 11. My high school was very strict. Catholic and military pretty much says it all. But we had a saying to the purpose of the ties that we wore from 9th grade through adulthood. We received our senior tie on our first day of the school year, and we wore it every year from then on with the phrase, "the ties that bind." That phrase did not mean much to me for a long time, aside from the literal. But it was a deeper message and one that I find new meaning here. Although we don't wear ties or have any strict uniform code, we still have a connection that binds us together in indescribable ways. So I will relay some messages from then and then college afterward. The first thing is that life is too short for books you do not like. I received this from Coach Cochran upon receiving a copy of Herman Melville's Moby Dick on my birthday, which I still to this day have not read, I will admit. But that quote does come with a word of caution, and that I have found for myself many times. Some books are worth fighting through, even if your inclination is to dread them. There are deeper truths in writing and conversation that goes back through human history. Isaac Newton is quoted as saying, "What we know is a drop, what we do not know is an ocean." There is more knowledge in the world than you should expect yourselves to know. But the things you do know, you should speak with confidence, but also have an open ear and a hope and a heart to other people's point of view. Quick skip ahead. So after graduating with my first degree in international relations, I had a State Department position lined up with a post in Tunisia. I retreated from the comfortable place at a home, stumbled over that looking away too much. Heard that laugh and it got me. I retreated away from this opportunity to a home that was not my own, but my parents and a sister that I had not really gotten to grow up with in Tampa, Florida. This was not due to a lack of interest in the opportunities afforded me due to my college education and connections I had made, but leaving a 4-year degree just to sign a 3-year contract in another country did not sound appealing. So, getting back to my arrival in Tampa. The seafood was fantastic, and again, connecting with my sister Gwen, who grew up in a generation much closer to your own than mine, was amazing. 6 years makes a really big difference in your life experience. So, let me just scoot that up a little bit. The other thing was the weather was not very tenable to me. It may be hot here and humid, but 90 degrees every day and 90% humidity was just not my cup of tea. So on a visit back to Fayetteville to reconnect with friends, I found myself unable to get on the return flight. I felt a sense of homecoming just in the few days that I had spent back here. So instead, I did what any reasonable person would do. With a duffel bag and a computer, I got a job at Dixon Street mainstay Jimmy John's and became a sandwich master. The next week, I also had a job at Damn Good Pies, pardon the language, as a pizza cook and occasionally packing books at the confusingly named campus bookstore on Dixon. It was hard work, but I had done similar jobs since I was 15, and I was dead set on finding my big boy job to meet my own expectations and my family's. After many attempts, I found a position at the U of A working in the housing department, running the front desk of Pomfret Hall. And this is my first piece of advice to you, except for the book thing. Please check your mailbox when you are in college. A lot of items just sitting there, just waiting to be found. So it'll save not only your parents a lot of headaches, but also your RAs and everyone else who works there. And even more than that, do not only check your mailbox, but also send letters back. A handwritten letter is one of the most meaningful things you can do for someone from the heart, even simple, especially on a surprise birthday. I wandered for a while trying different jobs, both at Walmart home office and around Fayetteville itself. And I always found myself being called towards fields in STEM, whether it be programming, applied sciences, or theoretical. And there was a big limit because a BA doesn't take you far in those fields. So I returned to the university for my BS in physics with the hope of going to grad school. I had to fill a few blanks in the course log. So the hustle of graduate life, a constant balancing act of never quite having enough time for home, studies, research, draining, but it was rewarding. I was able to work with technologies I had dreamed of and ran into a few faces I had not seen since high school, calling out Paul Bonney if he is watching. I actually taught him physics in high school as well. So still, I noticed I was kind of in the flurry of activity, not really finding my true purpose. And I found a lot of the time when I had extra time, but did not actually, I was in the physics library outside of my office hours, helping undergraduates trying to understand why physicists want everything to be a spring. It's an in-joke for the science crowd. It was the most rewarding experience to see the moment an idea clicked in these students' minds and their curiosity for trying something new with lab work. More and more I realized over my 2 years that I did not want to work in STEM locked away in some lab, but in education, sharing my experiences and knowledge with minds like your own. Being able to share my knowledge, my understanding, and a little bit of compassion, and maybe the occasional forgiveness on grades. I laughed to overcome the emotions. As I did to many students at the U of A, and I continue to do now, and many of you have heard me say in the classroom, not everyone needs to be a physicist. If they were, we would have pretty boring books. So that's enough about me, because pretty much after that point I was here. So you each have your own choices, some for the first time that are truly your own. I'm sure you also still have many questions. You are the future, and that is intimidating. We have all been the future at one time. We have all made choices, and we all still have questions. I've tried my best in class and out to answer them as best I can. We all wonder, we all hope. That is what makes us human. You are not alone, and we are here to try our best to answer those questions we have all asked ourselves in our lives too. Some insight, some perspective to save you some time and some headaches. This year with you, and for some, even less. I already called out a few. I'm just saying. It has been an honor to be an educator and a guide in your lives. It has been a gift. A year seems like a small thing washed out in the daily struggles and personal heartache. But here we are at the end of a year, and I may not have said it throughout, but it has gone too quickly, like many years before. We think of the world full of opportunity, extra time, especially now as we see you blossoming into your futures. More often than not, the moments we want to last the longest are the fastest flying, and those we dread will pass. Or will follow us longer, sorry. I'm losing my pace a little bit, a little misty. Follow us longer than we'd like to bear. Time as it is the true constant. Any physicist will tell you that. It will pass whether we want it to stand still as a granite cliff or flow like a river, torrid and pressing. The only thing we can do is stand in those moments, recognize their passing, recognize the irretrievable connection of the people we get to spend them with, and with luck, getting to reminisce on them together again. My hope is that you keep yourself open to new experiences and new people that will not replace those times we've shared, but allow you to find deeper moments of your own. And then probably share them with us. It'd be nice. Each of you is going on to new adventures. For some, this is furthering your academic pursuits. For others, it's exploring new challenges, outdoor and physical achievements. Until now, you have followed similar general expectations. Get to school on time, finish your projects, don't forget about that test, all of the day-to-day school life. Even still, each of you has grown and continues to grow into a unique person and a member of our community. Whether your interests fall in the arts, the sciences, or outside the classroom, you have added to this school, your teachers, and your community in immeasurable ways. For this, I thank you, and we all thank you. We are all gathered together to celebrate your time here, but more importantly, to continue to support you all in everything you go on to discover and hold dear. We are all family, and I am proud of you now, and I will be forever. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. That was a great speech, Mr. Kyle. Some really great advice. So hopefully you guys can get through this with me. But so I'm Duncan, if you guys don't know me. I'm one of the 9 seniors that graduated this year. So yeah. So it all started a couple of years ago. I had first moved out to Los Angeles to pursue an acting career after living in Arkansas for about 5 years. Moving out to Los Angeles, I never really knew what to expect, but one thing I knew was that I would be leaving a lot of my friends for something I wanted in my life. Along with this came my education, of course, and because I didn't live in Arkansas full-time during the school year, going back and forth, we decided it was best to just homeschool me. So from around the time I was 12 years old until just last year, I mostly stayed that way. I didn't have many friends as I was more focused on acting and my pursuit of my career, but then an epidemic spread across the nation, as you all know. We found ourselves stuck in our houses in fear of a new virus that had emerged, which was COVID-19. Due to this epidemic, with such a large city like Los Angeles, most of the acting sets and auditions came to a halt. We stopped receiving auditions, we stopped doing films, and we realized it might just be time to stop for a bit. Because of this, my mom and my sister and I decided it was best to move back to Arkansas, where we would stay throughout the next year. And as the epidemic cleared up and the schools started to open, I had a brilliant idea. Being that I wouldn't be to Los Angeles for a while, considering the conditions, I asked my mom if she would enroll me in some type of public or even private school so that I could finally, have a bit of a community thing going. I remember specifically looking at her, and she gave me the most crazy look for thinking schools in Arkansas would be over or would be open by then. However, I had a lot of hope, and as the summer progressed, we saw the pandemic calming down, and I knew it was time to take my shot. So my mom and I searched pretty heavily until we came across the new school. Being only around 2 weeks until school started, I still had my doubts if I even wanted to enroll. I mean, I knew almost no one, and I didn't want to be the new kid. I hadn't even heard of the school at this point. Considering all these factors, I was a teeny bit indecisive. For around a week or two, up until probably the last 5 days before school, I kept switching if I wanted to go or not. Until finally, I just leaped for it. I don't think there was a better decision I could have made. So my mom, I'm not sure where to start with this. I mean, ever since I was little, you've always been there for me. Throughout my 16 years of having you as my mom, I've fallen plenty, and I've almost given up too many times to count. But I've always had you, and you were the most resilient, kind-hearted, gentle, and loving person I've met in my entire life. You inspired me to be stronger every day, and out of the 2 billion mothers on this earth, I had the luck to end up with the greatest one that I know. I love you, Mom. And to my dad, thank you for always supporting me, just as much as Mom. Throughout the years, I never understood why you made the sacrifices you did for me, always putting my life and what I needed before yours. But I recently have started to realize why. You've always pushed me to be the best that I could be, and even though sometimes, the tough truth hurt, you always told me what I needed to hear. You always wanted me to succeed, and I think I can proudly say that now I finally have. A funny memory was that one time I was talking to my classmates at lunch, and we were talking about how before school started, they were able to see who had enrolled in their grade, and they knew Jack was coming, but they had never seen that I had enrolled due to my late submission. So the first day of school, almost no one expected I was going to be there until they met me and figured out I was actually a part of their grade and not a 10th grader. Throughout this school year, I've had more memorable experiences than I could have ever imagined. The amount of people I've met and the amount of core memories I've made are irreplaceable and always will be in my heart. My worries once I got to this school almost left completely. My grade made me feel so welcomed in so many ways. Just by taking me to Sonic after school that first week made me feel so much more comfortable with everybody. No matter what I did and no matter what other people I hung out with, I always knew that I could come back to them. They're the family that I never thought I would have. I know I'm never going to get these memories back. Sitting in the annex watching The Bachelor and Advisory, going to Elena's last minute to watch a movie, whispering jokes in government class with Mosley, or even sitting outside the drama room waiting for my friends to finish class. But I do know, in every single second of those memories, I was happy. and I was with the people and the family that I love, and I'll never forget that. I might be treated as the baby, and rightfully so, but I always know that they'll have my back, and I don't think there's any other people I would rather spend my only year of high school with. So thank you to Ella with her witty optimism, to David with his amazing humor, to Lisette with her impeccable fashion, to Jack, my best friend, to Lexi with her ever-impressive drawing skills, to Alina with her compassionate joy, to Mackenzie with her ironic remarks, and to Oakley with his tree trunk thighs. Thank you all for making me a part of your family, and thank you for always having my back. I'll never forget you. Thank you.
The new school is a place I've stayed at for the majority of my life. It feels pretty surreal now that the time has come for me to leave this place. The time I've spent here will leave a lasting impression on me. I've accumulated lots of good memories here over the years, and it's special seeing the school grow and evolve with you. I'd like to thank the many people who have aided me while I've stayed here. First, to my teachers, who I can call both my mentors and my friends. They have inspired, guided, and helped me. Even outside the classroom, they've continued to do so. And so I feel I formed a special bonds that I wouldn't have had I gone anywhere else. I'm grateful for Miss Keyleth for being a great source of inspiration for me, Miss Erin for being super fun and encouraging, Mr. Austin for being an awesome advisor, Mr. Jason for both aiding and conversing with me, and Miss Jennifer for being someone I can confide in and who has always been very considerate of me. I'd also like to thank my family. The years have been tough, and I appreciate everything they have done to accommodate and care for me. I'm grateful for my father, who provided for me, my aunt and grandfather, who frequently check in and talk with me, and my grandmother for the sacrifices she has made so that I may continue to attend this school. Lastly, I'd like to thank the fellow classmates I have grown close to. Staying as long as I have seen a lot of people come and go, so I feel like a special bond has developed between the lot of us. It's the little things that I've greatly enjoyed. I'm grateful for Oakley for letting me doodle frogs and dinosaurs on his math homework. David for letting me play Chee-Chaw in the car while he drove me. Duncan for being a wild and fun partner in printmaking. Ella for being someone I can enthuse about cats with. Alina for showing me her pet snail and being a fan of Gnasher Fang. Lisette for going out of her way to make an incredible trek just to drop me off at my home early. Jack for letting me talk about silly things I like. And lastly, Mackenzie for always being there right beside me. I believe it is the community that makes the new school special. The experiences I've had with the people here are something which I will value and never forget as I move forward in life.
Dear Alina, you've just entered first grade, and boy, oh boy, do you have a lot ahead of you. In about 8 years' time, you'll find yourself living in Fayetteville and attending the new school. The transition will be tough, but the people around you will make it easier. The new school, believe it or not, is much bigger than your old school. More people, more teachers, more assignments, more campus. But what you don't know yet is that this new, bigger, scarier school will also bring more friends, more opportunities, more adventures, and more family. The new school's tight-knit community will instantly make you feel at home. The teachers are patient, supportive, encouraging. The classmates are loving, comforting, and your very, very best friends. The cute blonde boy with long hair, even though now he's got short brown hair, who you followed around school to school since first grade, eventually realizes being friends with girls isn't so bad and will become the best friend you could have ever asked for and someone you'll have your entire life. He teaches you what being a genuinely good human means, and you aspire to be half the person he is. Oakley will be your rock. Ella and Lisette will become what you all commonly refer to each other as your platonic soulmates. They show you it's okay to be unconditionally and unapologetically yourself. There aren't words to describe your love for each of them. Your classmates and your group of friends are almost like going to a big public school and taking one kid from each table at the cafeteria. You've got the band kid, Michael, the jock, the nerd, the one who breaks his bones every 5 seconds, Jack. You've got the anime enthusiast, the wannabe cowboy, the artist, the granola, and the one who doesn't really fit into a category. Sorry, David. What I'm really trying to say is that you will have a loving and supportive community that will always have your back. Your parents will be there throughout your life and will be there for your entire journey. They will support you and love you unconditionally, and one day, one very, very far off day, you hope to be half the parent they are. You will forget to say thank you a lot for everything they have done for you, so maybe you'll find yourself 12 years later from now saying thank you to them in front of lots and lots of people on a stage, so thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for me and for the continued support. I love you both. High school will be hard, and in order to get through it, you will need all the help you can get. Your sister will be a shoulder to cry on and a person to constantly embarrass yourself with. Your brother will be a person to talk to and a person to absolutely destroy all of your thoughtfully and seemingly good essays. Without them, you wouldn't be the person you are today. Your entire family, your aunts, your uncles, cousins, grandparents will always be there to support you. You love and appreciate them each. You'll find yourself over the next 12 years of your life that parents aren't always biological or in your direct family. The lady who you at this point of your life are delivering eggs to once a week and complaining to your mother about how she talks too much becomes a second mother to you. She has shown you what it means to be a truly strong, independent, and loving woman. She is so brave, and you think of her when you need strength. You love Linda, and you love all the wisdom she has passed down to you. All of these people are responsible for the person you are today. They will allow you to laugh with them, to cry with them, and to be exactly who you are with them. Cherish them, for these are the people you love. Enjoy and don't take the little things for granted, because it will go faster than you could have ever imagined. High school is now nothing but a memory, but that's okay, because you can take those memories wherever you go, and wherever you go, you will think of them fondly. Sincerely, your future self, Alina Guillory.
Kind of tall. Well, here we are, senior year. What can I say? It's been a crazy and unforgettable year. A year ago, I had no idea about this incredible group of seniors or the new school at all, and now I'm here standing before all of you delivering a graduation speech. It's honestly wild how things work like that, and I would not change it for the world. From study nights spent at the co-op to movie nights featuring the timeless Twilight Saga, I'm blessed to say that I've made memories that I will treasure forever. Seniors, each and every one of you has such a positive impact on me, and I'm so proud to be graduating alongside of you. The memories we made will always have a special place in my heart. And now I just have a long list of thank yous. First off, thank you to my family, both in Fayetteville and in Memphis and anywhere else. These guys and gals have really supported me and pushed me throughout my whole education. I am the person I am today because of them, and I cannot thank you enough for being my rock as I navigated this wild world of school. To my teachers and all the faculty, thank you for welcoming some new kid out of Memphis and making him feel at home. I was able to take all sorts of classes and electives that I have to admit were actually really enjoyable. These classes have opened up new roads in college for me to explore, and I'm so glad I got to know all of you and know that I can come to you with any random questions from college. And I also wanted to thank my coaches and my teammates.
Whether or not they are present to hear this speech in person, I know they are aware of just how important they have been to me. I never thought that I'd be back on the basketball court, and the feats that we accomplished this year as a team are just incredible. I could not have asked for better coaches, teammates, and friends. My coaches always believed in me, and I know that I'll continue to look up to their leadership and words of wisdom in the years to come. Thank you to everyone who has made my senior year special. I cannot wait to come back, even though I'm really not going that far, and share the adventures from the next 4 years of my life with you all. So that about sums up my speech, but thank you everyone who has been with me in this high school journey.
Just a little bit. We've been talking about this day all year, what we're going to do after graduation, the sizing of our caps and gowns, and unfortunately, the speeches we'd have to give in front of the entire school. The final day of my high school career, a day I've simply put in the back of my mind and tried to ignore. But now, as I stand on this stage in front of you all, I think it's finally hit me that after 12 years of my life, I'm leaving the place and the people who have shaped who I am today. I'd first like to thank Miss Heather for teaching me how sometimes it's best not to take that extra AP class. Thank you to Miss Annie for teaching me more Spanish in 1 year than I've learned in my many, many, many years of Spanish. Thank you to Mr. Kyle, who has helped me in gaining confidence in my abilities and who showed me how to stop doubting myself. Thank you to my neighbor buddy, Miss Johnny, for introducing me to a subject I had no clue I would love so much, and also for granting me the title of Yearbook God. Thank you. Thank you to Mr. Jason for somehow never giving up on my writing abilities. I don't know how. I was truly terrible at writing for a very long time. And thank you to Miss Erin, who has shown me my love for creating art. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Austin. It feels impossible to sum up these last couple of years, but I can say with 100% certainty that Mr. Austin has been the most impactful person in my life. He has shown me my love for music when I was just in the 5th grade in his general music class. By the end of that year, my best friend Lisette and I came up to him and asked for private guitar lessons, dreaming of becoming some edgy musical teenagers. But during that time, Mr. Austin didn't just teach me music for all these years. He also helped me grow into the person I am today. He helped this once awkward, hot topic wearing wannabe emo girl become a still awkward wannabe emo girl, but now with confidence in herself and in her abilities. I came to realize that he would support me and be there for me whenever I needed him, and I truly believe that this bond will hold past him being just my music teacher. Mr. Austin, it's hard to put into words just how much you really mean to me, but I truly thank you for deciding to teach at this school all those years ago, for without that decision, who knows who I would be today. I'd also like to thank the people outside of the school who have helped me get through these last couple of years. First, thank you to my dad, who, no matter what, has been there for me. You've always pushed me to be the best person you knew I could be and helped me realize my abilities when I actually put effort into something. I love you and your seemingly never-ending supply of movie quotes. Thank you to Angela, who has seen me through every awful phase of my life and has still decided to stick around. You've been there for me when I've needed serious life advice or simply someone to gossip with. Thank you for coming into my life and becoming my family. Thank you to my mom for always accepting me and never judging who I am or what I've done. You've helped me in standing up for myself, and because of you, I no longer feel shame in who I am. Thank you to Beebs and Dee, who have been the best grandparents a girl could ask for. You guys have always supported my passions, and without you two, I never would have even gone to this school, and I probably wouldn't be heading to Washington for college. I truly thank you for everything you've done for me. A special thank you to Jessica, who has changed my life for the better. You've always been there for me when I needed some motherly advice or simply a place to stay. Thank you for accepting me with open arms. And finally, I'd like to give a special thank you to my ladies, Lisette and Alina. Lisette, we've been friends for 12 years now, which sounds crazy when I say it out loud. You've been one of the most important people in my life, and that will never change. You've always been, oh God. I'm killing this. It's hard to sum up all these years together, but you are truly one of my favorite people to be with. I find myself laughing my hardest when I'm with you, and you've never judged me for anything I say, mostly because you usually feel the exact same way. And to Alina, who I met only in my 8th grade year, yet it somehow feels like we've been best friends my entire life. You came to the school a dorky little horse girl, and you're leaving it this beautiful and confident horse girl. You've been a shoulder to cry on when I've needed it, and you've never judged me for my problems, no matter how stupid they may seem. My life wouldn't be the same without you, and while we may be going to college on opposite sides of the country, know that no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to get rid of me. Thank you to each and every one of you for making me who I am today, and thank you to the school for the best 12 years of my life.
The journey to graduation hasn't been easy, and a lot of tears have already been shed on the trail, but we did it. We made it. Woo! I never really imagined what it would be like standing up here and finally being done with the first stage of my life. I had a lot of expectations about it as a little kid, back when I honestly thought high school was going to include more musical numbers and struggling to find the right click. Thank goodness the movies were wrong, though. I would have not been able to handle all of that. Then again, it could just be the new school. That's different. My time at the new school began when I moved here back in 2015 when I was entering 6th grade. It was a time of change for me, and I was really nervous. I was coming from a completely different academic environment, and I barely knew anyone. It was thanks to my teachers and new friends that it became easier for me to adjust to this transition. All the help and support at school just meant so much to me. Seriously, the community here is just great, and all the teachers make learning really enjoyable. All of my teachers have pushed me to grow and improve in whatever I do, and there are some classes I wouldn't have even considered taking if it weren't for their encouragement. So I'd like to thank all my teachers, new and old, and the ones who aren't at this school anymore. I'd like to thank my peers for learning and growing alongside me, for reaching out and just being there. I'd like to think that we've all learned something from each other, whether it be academic or something about ourselves or each other. It'll be strange to adjust to another school without all of us there. So thank you for all the stories we've made together. I'd like to thank my friends. I wouldn't have made it this far without you all. Mainly, though, I'd like to thank my grade, people who I would consider family now. Lexi, you were my first friend here, one of my first friends here, and I cherish our bond and how it's grown. Lisette, you were the one who really helped my confidence grow because you've gently pulled me out of my comfort zone. Ella, you're the one who inspired me so much with your cool confidence and your reassuring presence. Alina, you are the sweetest and kindest person I know, and you've helped me so much throughout the years that I owe you a million. David, you are the one who can always brighten my day with your infectious laughter. Oakley, you are the one who motivates me to always reach further and do better. Jack, you are the one who can drag an interesting conversation out of me, where we could just chat for hours. Duncan, you are so energetic and enthusiastic. You get me hyped for the things that maybe I wasn't thrilled about at first. You all mean so much to me, and I'll miss you as we now go on our separate paths in life. I'd like to thank my family, of course, my sister because she's done so much for me, and my mom for allowing me to attend this school and for being my biggest fan and supporter. We've had our ups and downs as teenagers and parents are bound to, but I know that we will always have each other. Graduating is honestly pretty surreal. We've talked about it for years, thinking about what we want to be when we grow up and what kind of college education we'd need to accomplish our goals. It always seemed like something that would happen in the future, but now it's here. School has always been a constant, and at this point, it's a bit hard to imagine going off to college and being thrown into this entirely new routine. It's intimidating, to say the least, yet it's also exciting. College is our efforts here made tangible, so now we're ready to move on.
Howdy. All right. So I would say that I had a bumpy start at the new school. I was a semi-athletic kid with some long flowing locks pulled into a single braid at the back of my head. I wore Oakley branded t-shirts, and above that I was super awkward and had a bit of attitude on top of that. My previous school allowed me a pretty free childhood, but I was behind in terms of my academic and social achievement. Transitioning to the new school, that really stressed me out. It pushed my boundaries, and soon I learned to enjoy it. And over the years, I progressed academically and was immersed into new extracurriculars. After some time here, quite a few of my friends were leaving and going to bigger places, and I decided that I needed a bigger pool of kids to interact with. Story shortened a bit. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't great. I made it through. I didn't talk to many people, so, I also played the same song for the second semester, like the whole semester. That was something. So as that year came to a close, I realized I was missing something. I was missing the tight-knit community that is the new school, and I knew I would regret it if I didn't come back. Mr. Austin had contacted me a few times about a music scholarship that we offer, and so I decided to apply. And I'm back. And I'm so thankful for my time back here. And I love that the teachers take the time to get to know each student to the point where I would only hesitate a little bit to reach out about personal things. They also understand and support our decisions. In early April, I made a last-minute decision to go on a road trip to California for a bike race. And as I reintegrated back from that little hiatus, my teachers worked to catch me back up and even excused a few of those assignments, so thank you. And they allowed me to make some of my fondest memories for sure. So teachers, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jason, for your compliment sandwiches. Thank you, Mr. Kyle, for not getting too mad at the holes in my math education. Thank you, Mr. Bannon, for rewriting a few of my paragraphs in sustainability. Thank you, Ms. Jordan, for the fun and advice at the end of the day. And Mr. Austin, thank you. You've truly changed my life. Oh, and the other teachers that I've had who came here, thank you also. I didn't write about you, but thank you. I would also like to thank my family who have allowed me to experience this and for being patient with my indecisive nature. Thank you for supporting my new hobbies, which I have many, and for the opportunities to allow me to learn who I am. Although I still am not sure who I am yet. I'm not sure of some other things too. I'm not sure where I'm headed after this. I'm not sure what the other 98% is in 2% milk. And I don't know. I'm also not sure that I've lost the awkwardness or attitude that I started here with. But one thing I do know is that I have a great foundation to build the rest of my life on. So thank you.
I wanted to take this time to say thank you to the people who got me here. But then I realized there were about 100 people at commencement, and I didn't want anyone to feel left out. So I'll give my thanks anonymously. And if you think it sounds like you, or if you want it to be you, then maybe it is. Thank you to the person who has always encouraged me in a way that reminds me I'm loved. You've helped me over many hurdles, and I truly could not have asked for a better role model. Thank you to the person who drove me to school for 14 years and in the process passed down an incredible taste in music and a less incredible taste in humor. Thank you to the person who has seen me at my worst, my best, and loves me all the same, even after we grew apart. May that never happen again, because you've given me the highest possible standards for what a friend should be, and I'd never be able to replace you. Thank you to the person who has put up with me for 16 years straight, in which practically every day I've sparked an argument over nothing. Bless your soul. Thank you to the person who helped me come up with the most amazing handshake I've ever experienced. Even when I'm feeling down, our handshake always brightens my day and makes me smile, just like you. Thank you to the person who always, without a doubt, had a snack ready for me because I was always particularly hungry during that period.
Thank you to the person who, for some reason, had to fight to be my friend on multiple occasions because someone was always trying to split us apart. Without your persistence, I would have never found my favorite person to binge eat with, my favorite person to dance for hours with, my favorite person to laugh hysterically over nothing with, or my favorite person to play music with. Thank God, because we sound awesome together. You're my favorite everything partner. Ooh, sorry. You're my favorite everything partner, and I owe it all to you. Thank you to the two women who, by being the smartest people I know, taught me that STEM does not have to be a male-dominated field. You've given me the confidence to pursue what I've always wanted to do. Thank you to the person who gave me a 30% on an assignment I worked very hard on. Though it hurt, it was the wake-up call I needed to work harder and taught me to always seek improvement. You would think your harshness would lead me to dislike you, but that was never the case. I've always looked forward to your conversations because I knew they'd make me better, your critiques because I knew they'd make me smarter, and your class because it would always make me smile. So thank you. Thank you to the person who always manages to make me smile even when I've had a horrible day. If it weren't for you, I would have left the new school years ago, and I would have missed out on the incredible impact you've had on me, one that I will carry with me for my entire life. Because of you, in these past few years, I've grown exponentially as a musician, but also as a person, and I can honestly say I enjoyed every second of it, even the year that I was playing saxophone. I'm extremely grateful for all of you. I can truly say that you are the reason I'm standing up here to graduate, and without each of you, I wouldn't be half the person I am today. Thank you.
I don't know if you guys are counting, but I'm the last one, I promise. And, you know, it's looking to this crowd of people, it really is just absurd how surreal this situation is. If you would have gone back to the first few years of my time at the new school and asked little me what I would ask me right now, I don't think any of the questions he would have would pertain to advice or crazy things that would happen in the future. I think his most important question would be asking if I'm finally able to jump up and hit the top of a door frame like he sees all the really cool 7th graders doing every day down the hall. At that point in my life, it took me about 3 to 4 minutes to tie my shoes, or only 1 if they were Velcro. It took me about 5 minutes to sit out of recess because I was talking to my friends too much in line. It took me about 15 minutes to walk to my classroom every day because little me thought it was absolutely necessary to stop by every classroom and say hello to every teacher I could come across. And honestly, it took what felt like an infinite amount of minutes waiting for my parents to take the picture of my first day of 1st grade next to the TNS rock outside. Thinking this far back truly makes me realize how much time I've spent here. These minutes over the years have added up and totaled to over 1.3 million. From the age of 2 to 18, I've been lucky enough to call myself a part of the new school, and I've honestly loved every single minute I've got to spend here. I've loved the moments that I got to spend on the playground, pretending to be anything from a Ninja Turtle to a Power Ranger. I've loved the moments I spent in the cafeteria eating square pizza and orange sherbet that will forever hold a place in my heart and in my stomach. I've absolutely loved the moments that I've gotten to pour into our little Lego robot we made, being able to go compete as far away as West Virginia, which is still crazy to me. And I've certainly enjoyed these last few moments of being able to practice and perform music with the majority of the 9 seniors you see here today. Each of these memories wouldn't be the same without these seniors, and I've known most of them for those times where it all took us a few minutes to tie our shoes. I've been fortunate enough to spend just an absolutely countless amount of time with these people, whether it was over the course of this year in particular or over the course of the last 16. When you grow up going to school 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, the people around you really start to become a part of your family. I would consider each and every one of my fellow seniors to be, honestly, my second set of siblings. I mean, how could we not? Over the course of the years, we've each grown through our own awkward stages of life, and we've certainly gotten to witness everyone else's. And at this point, I see a few of them squirming over there right now, so I'll go ahead and move on. The point is, we've been next to one another, side by side, having the best time for over 1.3 million minutes. And over the past few years, people have always asked me why I chose to stay at the new school, and I could never confidently give an answer as to why I stayed, but I think I've finally realized what that answer is. I chose to always stay at the new school because it never felt like a new school. It felt like home. It felt like a place that I could come and be with an extension of my family, and I couldn't ever imagine being separate from that. I'm eternally grateful for all this school and the people within it have done for me, and it is something that I will never forget as I progress into the next chapter of my life. I know that I will look back on and cherish every single minute that I have spent here. Thank you.
The days come easy and the moments pass slow, and each road leads you where you wanna go. And if you're faced with a choice and you have to choose, hope you choose the one that means the most to you. Hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And if it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming. There's a voice inside my head saying, you'll never reach it, but I gotta keep trying, gotta keep my head held high. My wish for you is that this life becomes all that you wanna do. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. Hope when you take that jump, you don't feel the fall. Hope when the water rises, you build a wall. And hope when the crowd screams out, they're screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you'll say, it's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. I did it all. I hope you dance. My wish for you. I hope you dance. It's a climb. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Yeah, this is my wish.
Your little hands wrapped around my finger, and it's so quiet in the world tonight. Your little eyelids flutter 'cause you're dreaming, so I tuck you in, turn on your favorite night light. to you, everything's funny. You got nothing to regret. I'd give all I have, honey, if you could stay like that. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, just stay this little. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, it could stay this simple. I won't let nobody hurt you, won't let no one break your heart. No, no one will desert you. Just try to never grow up. And never grow up. You're in the car on the way to the movies and you're mortified your mom's dropping you off. At 14, there's just so much you can't do, and you can't wait to move out someday and call your own shots. But don't make her drop you off around the block. Remember that she's getting older too, and don't lose the way that you dance around in your PJs getting ready for school. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, just stay this little. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow up, don't you ever grow up, it could stay this simple. And no one's ever burned you, nothing's ever left you scarred. And even though you want to, just try to never grow up.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. Memories fade, but they're never lost. Colors with time and change of heart. If I hold on to the memories and use them to guide me, will you be right here beside me? Everything I know is behind me. I'm starting a new life. I just don't want to say goodbye. On everything we know, friends we've made, I don't want to let go. After everything that we have learned, it's our time now, it's our turn. If I hold on to the memories and use them to guide me, will you be right here beside me? Everything I know is behind me. I'm starting a new life. I just don't want to say goodbye. The lights go dim as we suddenly see it's time to find who we're meant to be. We couldn't wait for this to end. Now we wish we could start again. If I hold on to the memories and use them to guide me, will you be right here beside me? Everything I know is behind me. I'm starting a new life. I just don't want to say
Okay, how about those precious babies that grew into these amazing humans who just spoke to you tonight? Come on. I mean, it's time. In just a moment, we will ask the members of the class of 2022 to stand up for the presentation of diplomas and welcome to the Alumni Association of the new school. Each graduate will be presented with a specially engraved compass that says, "The new school, class of 2022, we hope you'll always find your way back," with the coordinates of the campus to remind you that it is our genuine hope that you will find your way back home to this campus many times in your life. Please note that immediately following the ceremony, you are invited to a special musical presentation, which, given the number of references that you heard tonight, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just don't go away. Stand out in the lobby and wait, because it will be well worth your time. And the reception after. I now invite John Wright and J.R. Neiswender forward for this presentation.
It is now time for the presentation of diplomas. I will call each member of the class of 2022 to center stage, where they will be presented with their diploma. Each will pause for a photograph. They will then be congratulated by our board chair, John Wright, and be presented with their Alumni Association gift by Kyle Murray. Finally, proceed back to their seats. After we have awarded all diplomas, the alumni will be called back up for their final introduction as alumni. Class of 2022, please stand. Lisette Olivia Birch. Mackenzie Shea Donovan. Oakley Gabriel Griffin. Alina Marie Guillory. Ella Ann Kuharik. Alexis Caroline Lucero. Duncan Liam Stott. John Lewis Wardlaw. David William Wright.
You can put your gifts down. Yeah, maybe diplomas in the bag too. Let's do that. Okay, I now invite our alumni back to the center. That's a good stop. Alumni, I now present to you all the new school class, alumni class of 2022.